Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to the Toronto Raptors 97-94 victory against the Indiana Pacers. Later post-game reaction happening right now. Apologize for that. I had a road race this morning, so very early this morning, so I couldn't stay up too late to do the live last night. But here to react to it now, and the Raptors are on a 3-game win streak. And now I know it's against 2 games against the Pacers and the Orlando and 1 game against the Magic, who aren't the most upper echelon teams in the NBA, but something has certainly flipped for the Toronto Raptors, and a big part of it has to do with the rotation. So I'm very excited to see how this team does going forward, but we have a lot to dive into with this Raptors Pacers game. And right off the bat, may as well deliver this award. The Scottie Barnes Award tonight. There's as always there's always tough competition for this award, but it's got to go to Scottie Barnes in this one, because I don't want to wait to speak on this guy in this game here tonight, because 21 points, 12 rebounds, an assist, a steal, and I'm surprised Scottie Barnes' assist numbers are so low, because he makes so many passes that are just the right play. He gets so many hockey assists, so many passes to where an open shot happens for a teammate and they just miss. So I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to see his assist numbers get into the 3 a game, 4 a game, 5 a game by the end of the season. But I digress on that point. Scottie Barnes, we've been raving about this guy on every single podcast. He hasn't let us down yet, and he's leading the league, or leading rookies in terms of points and rebounds now at this point. And we thought he'd be a project. We thought he'd be a couple years before the numbers are showing it. We thought he'd show flashes and all that sort of stuff, but the numbers are already there, right? The numbers are completely there already. His leadership is there already, and the one point that I want to bring up that I think has gone understated with Scottie Barnes is his ability to finish around the rim is already elite. Is already, you can make a case as one of the tops of the NBA, because we've seen him now against the Indiana Pacers last night, against the likes of a Miles Turner, who has consistently year in, year out led the league in block shots. Sabonis, who's another guy at 7 foot tall, just completely in the paint. And is Scottie deterred by those big guys in the lane? No. This guy just drives in, kind of takes a couple dribbles, gets in that semi-post. I wouldn't call it a complete post-up, because usually it's happening from a drive, then a little hezzy, and then it's so unorthodox. His arms are so long, he just shoots it a hair over the defender's hands, and it looks awkward. It looks like he's kind of hucking it up, but they go in every single time. I have this feeling whenever he throws up a shot in the paint, one of those finishes that do look tough, that every single time it's going to go in. And Nick Nurse has said, right, Scottie Barnes shooting 17 shots in this game, and it's not enough, because he's so efficient, and the shots that he gets, they're around the rim, they're buckets, and he makes them all. Right, he's just, I can't believe we got this guy. After a year of tanking season, I'm gonna break it back to this scene, but it's he's got the award going there, but 7 times Scottie Barnes Award winner already in his young rookie career. So lots of positives to talk about in regards to that, but he wasn't the only guy that had a solid night in this one. And the next guy I want to give a little shout out to is OG Anunoby, right? 6 of 13 shooting. It wasn't, he's pretty efficient when you look at the numbers, but it felt like he didn't play up to his usual standards. 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. But even in games like this now with OG, he's really come into his own, and he's hitting timely shots. So, he did have a few blunders at the end of the Orlando Magic game. We're willing to forget those, but I feel like OG over the course of the game, he's a stable rock to get us buckets, which is always an exciting thing to talk about. And obviously Fred VanVleet, right? The Fred VanVleet supporter is running solo in this pod here, so we get to rave about this guy without any criticisms. Yes, he still struggles finishing around the rim. Yes, he gets blocked every now and then when he puts it up over the likes of Turner and Sabonis, and still not the most efficient shooting night, but Fred has shown an ability to run that point guard spot. From the eye test, it looks like he's getting better and better at it game in, game out. 16 points, 4 rebounds, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, a couple steals. Mans is clamps. Mans is doing classic Freddie VanVleet things. So I don't want to harp. It wasn't a crazy wild game by any means, but I thought he played well. He's doing his job accordingly. Yes, would you like him to be a bit more efficient? Hit a few more of those shots. 2 of 7 from the 3-point line. Yes, maybe get that to 3 of 7, 4 of 7. But I think Fred VanVleet is fulfilling his role perfectly. And then when the burden of number one option, which has been split sort of between OG and Freddie at this point, which I think it's slowly moving towards Scottie Barnes, but when that burden is taken up upon Pascal Siakam, I think we'll see Fred fall back into his natural sort of role and feel for the team right where he's supposed to be. So I'm encouraged by all the things I've seen with Freddie VanVleet. And just to talk about all the starters, and Gary Trent Jr. didn't have the greatest shooting night in this game, but man, we saw him get a clutch steal in the last game, got the spicy play of the day for it, and tonight, even in a poor shooting performance, it's 3 of 11 from the field, 2 of 5 from the 3-point line. The 1-3 at the end was super timely, the step back, and he hit a very timely midi late in the fourth quarter in this one, which really, because this was a neck and neck game with the Pacers. They had Karis LeVert back, who wasn't in our previous matchup with the Pacers, and they wanted this win. The Pacers were 1-5 coming into this one, and I feel like they're a team that has enough talent to where they don't want to be in that situation. They're going to be fighting for the play-ins, or at least they had those expectations coming in, especially with Rick Carlisle being their coach. Obviously no Malcolm Brogdon tonight. They lost Brogdon. They brought back in LeVert, but it's they were fighting down the stretch, and Gary Trent Jr. hit some timely shots along with a long, deep Freddie VanVleet 3, and it was just nice to see that happen clutch. And as I said, I finished with the starters. Precious Achiuwa, well, he was probably one of his worst games as a Toronto Raptor, I'd say. Made some poor decisions, 17 points in this one, and showing, I'm all about the Precious propaganda. I don't have it on the solo, the animation loaded up, but 4 points, 3 rebounds, 2 of 9 from the field, and just made some poor decisions going in against shot blockers. I love Precious's confidence. I love that he's shooting himself out of a cannon to really take advantage of all the stuff, getting in the lane, uses athleticism, and oftentimes it's been working for him early in the season, but he is still young. He's still a pretty raw prospect, even though he's taken a massive leap from last year. And tonight, it was really Khem Birch that stepped up for the backup big position. Boucher also got some run, but we'll talk about Birch first. Nick Nurse said that the Raptors needed those minutes from Birch in this one, and 8 points, 6 rebounds, but that's Boucher's stats. 7 points, 6 rebounds, and a couple of assists from Birch, 3 of 6 in the field, and he was just more of a calming presence out there. And I'll leave something about Birch for the segments, but I thought he came in, played well. Will we see this potentially be, because I know a lot of people have the expectations of Khem Birch starting this year, right, being the starting center for this team, and Precious Achiuwa, I was raving about him in preseason, right? I thought he should be the guy, especially if the youth movement fits the timeline a bit better. And Birch is like the perfect backup center, right? He's an below average starting center, I'd argue, even though defensively he's solid, but the height sort of gets him. But he has the long arms. I'm jumping back and forth, but he is the ideal on a really good team backup center. And I thought these are the reasons why, right? Your starter's sort of struggling. Birch can come in and be a solid presence for him. But, if your starter is playing well, you don't mind keeping Birch's minutes back, and he's willing to play his role. So I'm happy with Birch's position. I could see us jumping back on the bandwagon, or not us. I'm going to be on the Precious bandwagon through thick and thin. But I could see a few people wanting Birch to be the starter. So we'll see what happens, especially if Precious drops a couple more duds in a few future games. But definitely a positive for Khem Birch in this one. And Delano Banton, right? You look at the box score and you'll say, I don't know. I don't know. 2 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. But you watch him play, man. He has a true impact on the game. He has a true impact. Definitely probably one of his worser games tonight, but he hit a nice long midi. The jumper's coming along very positive, but he's made some really nice passes, some good decisions, right? And he did have 3 turnovers. So definitely maybe I'm just having a positive, I'm looking back because I'm a big Delano Banton guy. He did have 3 turnovers in this game, but a couple of the passes that he made right through traffic, threading the needle with the passes. I love to see it. Obviously, he's still a young, raw rookie prospect. We thought he'd be the G League, but we put the vote out in the last live stream. what's a better likelihood? Delano Banton playing the Rising Stars game or playing on the 905 this season? Getting on either roster, and a lot of people said the Rising Stars. So maybe we're jumping to conclusions a bit early for a guy that's definitely a prospect, but I'm high on the Delano Banton bandwagon, and as people know, I love Chris Boucher. I was listening to the Pacers stream, their broadcast, and I don't know who their broadcast. They actually have a really good broadcast. I'll give that to the Indiana Pacers. They're very charismatic. They got the excitement going, which I like. Usually away broadcasters, a lot of them just feel old and kind of quiet and don't know much about the teams, but this crew, I don't know what their specific names are, but shout out to the Pacers broadcast. But they were talking about Chris Boucher's jimmies or his jump shot form, and they were just saying that's the most unorthodox form I've ever seen. And when that three went down that he hit a couple in this one, but one of them that went down, right? It's they're kind of making jokes out of it. But 8 points, 6 rebounds for Chris Boucher, starting to come back into his own a little bit. Dealt with a bit of foul trouble in this game, but I'm thinking Chris Boucher is going to be fine. I think we got to stop stressing about him. He's arguably our third best player last season. So that, as argued, not by me on this podcast, but Chris Boucher, definitely nice to see him coming back to his own a little bit. And we did see a bit of Malachi Flynn, right? And I know a lot of people are going to be waiting. I'm saving one of the guys we got to talk about for the segments, but Malachi Flynn got a couple minutes. They didn't pass him the ball. He was out there for 2 minutes. I didn't see him get past the ball once. He was dribbling, except in inbounds when he carried the ball up, but in the half court, just didn't get much of an opportunity to run with it, to get an opportunity. So the jury's still out on what Malachi Flynn can do, but excited to see him get a little bit of run at least to end the half. But there's a guy I just kind of joked about it, right? There's a guy we got to talk about, and it's going to be involved in the segment, so we're going to swing it right there. And tonight, the spicy pea lay of the day. You could talk about Trent's clutch buckets at the end. You could talk about Fred VanVleet's 3 from way downtown, a couple feet behind the 3-point line. That was clutch, I wouldn't call it dagger, but a momentum stopper for the Indiana Pacers. But guys, gotta get hydrated. You gotta get hydrated. And do I not have the segment loaded up? I don't. Is it worth it? Is it worth going to it? It is. We'll see if my computer breaks again. But the young socialites, they're all going off. They're all going off. You guys know it's not a Raptors Digest live stream if all of the animations don't play whenever I switch a scene. But I have to do it. I have to do it. Tonight, you gotta get hydrated, guys. You gotta get hydrated. You gotta get on that scene because the Svi Mykhailiuk absolutely killed it in this most recent game, and now they're all gonna play it again. It's not a Raptors Digest without this chaos, right? It's a part of the product. It's a part of the product, and now they're not even working for me. Getting rid of them, but Svi Mykhailiuk, that must be chaos to watch on a YouTube channel. I'm leaving it in there. We're deep into this video. We're in the segments, but you're getting all of the segments all at once. But Svi, oh my goodness, definitely by far his best game as a Toronto Raptor. The energy he's been bringing it night in, night out. When you break up the conjoined twins and Svi can run out there and play alongside other guys. 16 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 6 of 10 from the 3-point from the field goals. And I know, right? It's a spicy Pele of the day. Why are you throwing this out there for Svi, right? But there was a moment in this one where he absolutely crossed, coming down full speed. He had a couple dunks early in this one, and the Pacers broadcast, they were just completely shook that Svi was dunking on him, but he had this play running down full speed behind the back, came down and just, and to quote James Johnson, cocked that joint back and banged it on him full speed, running to the rim with the left hand. What a nasty play by Svi Mykhailiuk. Stay hydrated, kids. Get that Svigi water in you, because this man, whatever water he was juiced up on last night, it had him going. And if he can come off the bench and score like this every second night, maybe not, well, if he can consistently give us 10 points off the bench, that is such a big pickup for the Toronto Raptors. And I know he had a cold start to the season, had a great preseason, cold start to the real season. He's coming into his own a little bit now, like most of the Toronto Raptors. So hopefully Svi is able to do it, but not all plays can be the spicy Pele of the day, and me switching animations has absolutely cheese this up here, but not all plays can be the spicy play of the day, and some just make you say, oh, geez. And tonight, the oh, geez play of the day, I talked about it, I alluded to it earlier, Khem Birch, right? Rocking the sleeves. The sleeves underneath his jersey. Now, Ben, why would that be an OGs? Why would that be such a, a moment to point out for the OGs play of the day? Well, there's a guy, Khem Birch is rocking number 24 this season. He's rocking number 24, I believe. I have to fact check it, but he wasn't last season, or he was, because Norman Powell was gone. I'm messing myself up, but he's wearing number 24. Obviously, Norman Powell's jersey number for the past 5 years, and Norman Powell, right, really came into his own when he started rocking the sleeves underneath his jersey. And, watching it from afar in a grainy stream on whatever streaming site I was watching it on, I kept seeing 24 for the Raptors with the sleeve jersey. That's Norman Powell. Why is Norman Powell so tall? Did he grow? Then I forget, oh, he's off our roster now. And it makes me sad, even though Trent is a beast. But, it definitely made me say, oh, geez. Well, thinking it, Norman Powell is there. We have a 6'9" Norman Powell on the roster. Just watching Khem Birch play out there with the sleeves. Honestly, if you're going to wear number 24, you got to wear the sleeves. Just in honor of Norm, just out of respect. But that's the OGs. But finally, the infamous, the one, the only. Well, it's not infamous yet. But the Paul Pierce Golden Kazoo Award. Rikers got this name. And smoother than I do. For the worst thing about this game, the worst performance of the night, the worst thing about it. And honestly, there were some moments, there were some lulls for the Toronto Raptors, but not a lot of golden kazoos that could be handed out. I guess Precious Achiuwa's decision making would probably take the cake in this one. As I mentioned earlier, 4 points, 3 fouls, 2 turnovers, and just, I guess Precious, I'd hate to be giving it to him because I've been spewing the Precious propaganda throughout this season, but Precious, he's getting it tonight. Poor decision making, but we know he'll bounce back. He's a superstar, and he's all that sort of stuff, right? Did this one recorded, just because it's a day later, and but still a bit fatigued, a bit out of it from that 10-mile road race I ran this morning. But interesting game, fun game for the Toronto Raptors, right? Don't have the final alarm to sound off as there's no live, but definitely let us know in the comment section below what you guys thought of this game. You guys are the best for making this far. Check out the Instagram, the TikTok, the Twitter, all that cool stuff. And check out the, if you want to join the channel membership, get cool emojis for our live chats, be a part of cool events that we're going to be planning. Join the channel membership, really helps us out with there. And if you want, when I do solos, I gotta load up all the graphics. I forget about it before, but I'd give a shout out to all the channel members, but gotta update that now because we've had a few added to the squads. And there's merch. The merch is here. Merch is here, ready to rock. You go to the spread shop down below if you want some clean OGs hoodies, cool hats. Mine's supposed to be coming in. Takes I didn't get the priority shipping. I'm not that bougie, but it's coming. So I'll be able to rock the hat. My hair was a bit of a mess coming in this one, so I'm rocking the backwards cap. But anyways, guys, enough of me rambling. You guys are the best for making this far. I'm signing off. Cheers.